Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Sarah Chen. And what I'm about to share with you today could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. 3 weeks ago, I received a call at 2 a.m. that changed everything I thought I knew about stroke prevention. A 28-year-old patient of mine. Healthy. Athletic. No family history of stroke. Was rushed to the emergency room. What happened to him wasn't genetics. Wasn't age. And it wasn't bad luck. It was something he drank every single morning for the past 2 years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that drink was. And you'll understand why your morning routine might be the silent assassin targeting your brain. After 15 years treating stroke patients, I've discovered something that will shock you. The number one factor determining whether you'll have a stroke isn't your age, your genetics, or even your blood pressure. It's what happens in the first 30 minutes after you wake up. And most people are getting it completely wrong. Today, we're going to walk through the 7 most dangerous morning drinks that are silently setting you up for a stroke. And I promise you, some of these will surprise you. But first, let me tell you about Maria. A 45-year-old teacher who came to see me last month. She was doing everything right. Or so she thought. She exercised regularly. Ate her vegetables. Took her vitamins. But every morning, she started her day with what she believed was the healthiest choice possible. 6 months later, she was in intensive care, fighting for her life. The drink she thought was protecting her was actually destroying her blood vessels one sip at a time. This is why I need you to pay close attention to what I'm about to share. Because the difference between a healthy morning and a potential stroke isn't just about what you drink. It's about understanding how your aging body processes these beverages differently than it did when you were younger. Let's start with the most shocking revelation. The biggest mistake that triples your stroke risk isn't what you drink. It's what you don't drink. I'm talking about skipping water entirely when you first wake up. Right now. As you're watching this. If you woke up this morning and went straight to coffee, tea, or juice, without drinking plain water first, you've already put yourself at risk. Here's what's happening inside your body that you can't see or feel. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your blood has thickened. Your brain cells are literally starving for fluid. Your heart is working overtime trying to push thick, sluggish blood through vessels that have tightened overnight. It's like trying to push honey through a straw. Something's going to give. And when it does, that's when strokes happen. I've seen too many patients who thought they were hydrating with their morning coffee or tea, not realizing that caffeine actually dehydrates you further. The simple act of drinking 1 full glass of room temperature water before anything else can reduce your stroke risk by up to 65%. Yet, less than 12% of adults do this consistently. Now, let's talk about the drinks that are actively harming you. Number 7 on our danger list is something that surprised even me when I first discovered the research. Strong black coffee on an empty stomach. I know what you're thinking. But Dr. Shen, coffee has antioxidants. Coffee is supposed to be good for me. And you're not wrong. But timing and preparation matter more than you realize. When you drink strong, dark coffee immediately upon waking with nothing in your stomach, you're creating a perfect storm in your cardiovascular system. Your cortisol levels are already naturally elevated in the morning. This is your body's way of helping you wake up. But when you add a concentrated dose of caffeine to already elevated stress hormones, your blood pressure can spike by 20 to 30 points within minutes. I had a 67-year-old patient, Robert, who religiously drank 2 cups of strong black coffee every morning at 6 a.m. sharp. He prided himself on this routine for 30 years. What he didn't know was that his blood pressure was spiking to dangerous levels every single morning, creating microtears in his arterial walls. These tiny injuries accumulate over time, making his arteries more susceptible to blockages. When he finally had his stroke, It wasn't a surprise to his blood vessels. They'd been under assault every morning for decades. The solution isn't to give up coffee entirely. It's about being smarter. Drink your water first. Eat something small, like a banana or piece of toast. Then enjoy a smaller, less concentrated cup of coffee. Your brain and heart will thank you. Moving to number 6. We have concentrated green tea and high-caffeine herbal teas. Now, I regularly recommend green tea to my patients. But there's a crucial difference between therapeutic amounts and the concentrated versions many people are drinking. When you brew green tea too strong or drink multiple cups of high-caffeine herbal teas first thing in the morning, you're getting a different kind of cardiovascular stress. Green tea contains compounds called tannins. In moderate amounts, these are beneficial. But when concentrated, especially on an empty stomach, they can interfere with iron absorption and interact dangerously with blood-thinning medications that many of my older patients take. I've seen patients whose blood became too thin because they were unknowingly amplifying their medication's effects with their morning tea ritual. The real danger comes from herbal teas that contain ginseng or other stimulating herbs. Many people choose these thinking they're getting a natural energy boost. But they're actually putting additional strain on their cardiovascular system. Unlike coffee, where you know you're getting caffeine, these herbal combinations can have unpredictable effects, especially when combined with medications. Sarah, a 52-year-old patient of mine, was drinking a morning energy blend tea that contained ginseng, yerba mate, and guarana. She had no idea she was consuming the caffeine equivalent of 3 cups of coffee plus additional stimulants. When she came to me complaining of heart palpitations and morning headaches, we discovered her blood pressure was consistently elevated only in the mornings. Once we identified and modified her tea routine, her symptoms disappeared within 2 weeks. The sweet smell of vanilla iced coffee might seem harmless, even comforting. But what I'm about to tell you about our 5th dangerous drink will change how you look at that innocent-looking cup forever. Sweetened iced coffee has become the morning ritual of choice for millions of Americans, especially during warmer months. But here's what the coffee shops don't want you to know. That delicious combination of sugar, artificial flavoring, and cold caffeine is creating a toxic storm in your bloodstream. Let me share the story of David, a 41-year-old construction worker who thought he was making a healthier choice by switching from energy drinks to iced coffee. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., he'd stop at his favorite coffee chain and order a large vanilla iced coffee with extra cream and caramel syrup. At least it's coffee, not those crazy energy drinks, he told his wife. What David didn't realize was that his healthier choice contained more sugar than 2 cans of soda and was delivering a double hit to his cardiovascular system. When sugar and caffeine combine in your bloodstream, especially first thing in the morning when your body is already dehydrated, they create what I call a perfect storm effect. The sugar causes an immediate spike in your blood glucose, forcing your pancreas to release a flood of insulin. Simultaneously, the caffeine constricts your blood vessels and elevates your heart rate. Your blood becomes thicker, stickier, and harder to pump. Within 30 minutes of drinking that seemingly innocent iced coffee, David's blood pressure was spiking to levels that would alarm any emergency room doctor. But here's the hidden danger that most people never consider. Those flavored creamers and syrups aren't just sugar. They're loaded with sodium and artificial chemicals that your aging arteries simply weren't designed to handle. The sodium adds additional strain on your cardiovascular system, while the artificial ingredients can trigger inflammatory responses that weaken your blood vessel walls over time. The tragic end to David's story came 8 months later when he collapsed on a job site. The paramedics found his blood pressure at stroke-level readings. Fortunately, we caught it in time, but the wake-up call was clear. His morning treat had been slowly poisoning his cardiovascular system every single day. Moving to our 4th dangerous drink. And this one breaks my heart because so many of my patients think they're making the healthy choice. Packaged fruit juice. Even the ones labeled 100% natural or no sugar added, are concentrated sugar bombs that hit your system like a freight train. I'll never forget Elena, a 58-year-old grandmother who came to my office proud of her morning routine. "Dr. Shin, I gave up soda completely," she announced. "Now I start every day with a large glass of 100% orange juice. It's natural, it's healthy, and it gives me energy for my morning walks." What Elena didn't understand was that her healthy orange juice contained the equivalent sugar of 6 to 8 whole oranges, but without any of the fiber that would slow down sugar absorption. Here's the critical difference that the juice industry doesn't advertise. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber creates a time-release effect for the sugar. Your blood glucose rises gradually, giving your body time to respond appropriately. But when you drink that same orange's worth of sugar in liquid form, it hits your bloodstream like a tsunami. Your blood sugar spikes, your blood pressure follows, and your arteries take a beating. Within 3 months of our conversation, Elena made a simple switch. Instead of juice, she started eating 2 whole oranges and drinking water. Her morning blood pressure readings dropped by an average of 15 points. And she felt more sustained energy throughout her walks. The fiber from whole fruit wasn't just better for her digestion, it was protecting her brain from stroke risk. Now we reach our third most dangerous morning drink. And this one shocks people because it seems like the smart, health-conscious choice. Diet sodas and zero-sugar beverages have fooled millions of Americans into thinking they've found the perfect solution. All the taste, none of the calories, none of the guilt. Margaret, a 63-year-old retired nurse, switched to diet soda because she thought she was being responsible about her health. "I'm watching my weight and my blood sugar," she explained to me. "At least diet soda doesn't have sugar." What Margaret didn't know was that recent research has revealed something terrifying about artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. These chemical sweeteners don't just pass through your system harmlessly. They actually confuse your metabolism in ways we're only beginning to understand. Your brain expects sugar when it tastes sweetness, so it prepares your body for a glucose surge that never comes. This metabolic confusion can actually cause insulin spikes even without real sugar present. But the real danger lies in what these chemicals do to your blood vessels over time. A groundbreaking study that followed over 80,000 women for more than a decade found that those who drank diet sodas daily had a 23% higher risk of stroke and 29% higher risk of heart disease compared to women who rarely drank them. The artificial sweeteners were linked to increased blood clotting, irregular heart rhythms, and sudden blood pressure fluctuations, especially in adults over 50. Margaret's story had a better ending than most. When she replaced her daily diet sodas with sparkling water infused with fresh lemon and a splash of real cranberry juice, her energy levels stabilized, her morning headaches disappeared, and her blood pressure became more consistent throughout the day. Our second most dangerous morning drink combines everything wrong with modern beverage marketing: energy drinks and sports drinks. These liquid stimulant cocktails are designed for young athletes, but are being consumed by millions of older adults who think they need an extra boost to start their day. James, a 55-year-old accountant, started drinking energy drinks when his job became more demanding. "I need something stronger than coffee," he told me. "These energy drinks help me focus and get through my morning meetings." What James was actually doing was bombarding his aging cardiovascular system with a cocktail of caffeine, sugar, synthetic stimulants, and chemicals his body had never encountered in nature. Energy drinks don't just contain caffeine. They're loaded with compounds like taurine, guarana, and artificial stimulants that can cause irregular heartbeats, dangerous blood pressure spikes, and even seizures in susceptible individuals. When you're over 40, your heart's electrical system becomes more sensitive to these chemical disruptions. What might give a 20-year-old a temporary energy boost can trigger a cardiac emergency in someone James's age. The wake-up call came when James experienced what he described as the worst heart palpitations of my life during a morning meeting. His heart rate had spiked to over 140 beats per minute. And he felt like he was having a heart attack. The emergency room doctor's first question was about his caffeine intake. When we calculated the total stimulants in James's morning energy drink routine, we discovered he was consuming the equivalent of 8 cups of coffee plus additional synthetic stimulants every single morning. The solution was surprisingly simple. We replaced his energy drink with warm lemon water mixed with a pinch of Himalayan salt and a teaspoon of raw honey. This natural combination provided gentle, sustained energy without the cardiovascular assault. Within 2 weeks, James reported better focus, more stable energy, and no more heart palpitations. Finally, we reach our number 1 most dangerous morning habit. And it's not what you drink, it's what you don't drink. The single biggest mistake that triples your stroke risk is skipping water entirely when you first wake up. This seems so simple, so obvious. Yet it's the mistake that's literally killing people every single day. Your morning water isn't just about hydration, it's about survival. After hours of sleep, your blood has become thick and sluggish. Your brain is operating on minimal fluid reserves. Your heart is struggling to pump what feels like molasses through your vessels. Every minute you delay rehydration, you're playing Russian roulette with your circulatory system. The solution that saves lives couldn't be simpler. 1 full glass of room temperature water before anything else touches your lips. Not ice water, which can shock your system. Not flavored water, which can contain hidden sugars or chemicals. Just pure, clean water at room temperature. This single habit can reduce your stroke risk by up to 65% and costs virtually nothing. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember these 7 deadly drinks and the simple solution that could save your life. Your brain, your heart, and your family are counting on the choice you make in those first crucial minutes of your day.